Hey guys, I'm here to do a little testing. I wanted to see exactly what kind of damage increases you get from elemental damage versus flat damage versus critical damage. It's been a test I've been wanting to do for a while, but I didn't have the stabs. I had two of these 3-socket ones, but I didn't have the critical damage soul cores. And when I finally got the soul cores, I decided to look on trade to see if I can get one of these for cheap, and I got a Frayed Exalt, so I was like, this is the perfect time, let's do this video. And I mean, obviously, first test, let's just put in the flat damage.
Thunderous demise.
270,000 elemental damage, 283 critical damage, 313. Seems straightforward. Critical damage does more, but it's at 50% crit chance, so it's worthwhile seeing what kind of numbers you need to go down for crit chance. I'm actually kind of surprised already that the flat damage didn't keep up a little bit more, because this weapon scales increased weapon damage per 5 strength pretty hard, and I have only 253 strength. If I were to put on my boss rings, which have a big chunk to strength on them, this is a new ring I bought, completely broke the bank, and is the reason why I am completely broke. My build was a nice, comfortable 60 divines, but thanks to this ring, it's now at about 80, or sorry, 85, because it was 25. I also got this Controlled Metamorphosis ring, or diamond. It was one div, but it also is a wash because the jewel I replaced, which was up here, yeah, it sold for 2 div, so no question or no problems there. It's about a 85 div build, but I'll make a video showcasing all this. For right now, obviously crit damage is in the lead by quite a bit, by about 12% or so. It was a little more than 30,000, and I was a little under 300,000. So first things first, if I put on the crit damage rings, like this is going to give me more strength because the all stats and a big all stats, and this is going to give me all stats and strength versus just all stats. So this ring gives big damage, big damage. But here we go, 449,000 with crit damage, flat damage at 357 strength now, 383,000, so like a 60 something thousand roughly. Quick math. And then elemental is very comparable to the flat damage with huge numbers, huge numbers, but flat elemental is still better than percent elemental is still better than flat damage. So as it stands right now, unless you really need the 3 different damage types to shock, freeze, ignite your bell, I don't, because I got fire and cold on my ring. It is beautiful, and I do monster amounts of lightning damage, so I'm already getting all 3. There is no purpose to do this right now. It is just critical damage. But now we gotta do another test. We gotta test to see what the breakpoint is, because 50% crit chance, it's super worth it to see just how far does this go. So first let's drop all of these crit nodes right here. How far does this drop us? This drops us all the way down to 29.7% crit chance. Right now with critical damage, you're at 300,000. Elemental damage, 278,000. Flat damage, 268. So no matter what, at around 30% it's still the same. Let's check with the rings. So flat's 189, elemental 198, and crit 211. So it's still crit all the way. Gotta keep going. How far does this rabbit hole go? All this is crit damage, crit damage, crit damage. We'll unsocket all these, including the base. Put this crit damage back on there with the strength to keep it kind of sort of consistent, not losing too many stats. I know we're losing this 10 dex, but that's just attack speed. So it shouldn't affect this too much or at all. It's mostly the strength that matters, which we would get from this. And we got these crit chance nodes down here. We're hitting it really hard. We're down to 16.5% crit chance. So if it doesn't work now, it's going to be kind of a nail in the coffin here. I got 1 critical hit chance, Jewel. I don't know where I'm getting. Oh, I'm getting crit chance from here right at the start, but I can't. Well, I mean, I guess I could path around and kill it, but at this point, it's not worth checking that much in detail. But here, crit damage, 175,000. Elemental, 150. And flat damage, 143. So it's holding true right now all the way through with my Magic Vine rings, and now with my boss rings, is there any reason to do anything other than crit damage? Flat damage, 201,000. Elemental, 208. It's still holding true with all the same rules. And then finally crit damage, 216. There is no reason to do anything other than crit damage, soul cores for your main weapon, according to this flat sheet DPS. And, I mean, we could check here. All the way down to 16% crit chance, 18,000 damage with the crit damage with the elemental. Oh, sorry, 18,700, then 18,000 nearly flat, and flat damage 17,600. It's holding true all the way across. It's going to do the same with the heralds. And then crit damage, is it higher than both of them? It certainly is. Yeah. Kind of disappointing. It seems that crit damage is the only way to go, even with basically 0 crit chance.
Time to refocus.
So that's a learning experience. It's worth knowing, worth showing. I'm glad I could showcase it off to you guys, but kind of sad by the result that crit damage is just that much stronger than everything else, at least according to the sheet. But who knows? Maybe it's calculating something wrong. But at my build's level of 50%, there's no point in even questioning it if it's a 10 to 15% damage difference. That's a lot of numbers when you get to being as powerful as this, and legitimately, as long as you just got this dirt cheap staff, these gloves, and some all attributes plus attributes on your gear, this one div helmet, because I decided to go at least 13% increased attributes, you're going to get some pretty ridiculous numbers. This belt is a stretch goal. Having rings and an amulet that are that level of cohesion is a stretch goal. Just getting something somewhat nice, a decent little bit of all attributes. Like, yes, every number is going to bring it up surprisingly high. Like, attributes are completely busted. I fully expect them to get nerfed. It is a non-issue. They're still going to be strong. If anybody wants to play this build, I recommend it. It's very, very, very fun. Anyways, that was my test. It was good seeing you guys. Have a good night.